Sterling Holmes with FanSided with my co-host Ben Gregory with the Special Olympics. We are here unified with Gaming for Inclusion. We have a very, very special guest, an 8+ year NFL veteran, Davon House. Davon, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Enjoying this beautiful Wednesday in Austin, Texas. So all's good.
I want to start this thing off by saying I understand this is your first engagement with Special Olympics. First, what made you get involved?
Growing up with dyslexia, having a hard time reading and write, and going through that struggle, and I had a lot of friends that were, either on the spectrum or things like that, right? ADHD or whatnot. So I've always, enjoyed being around people with, disabilities or whatnot. And even my time in the league, I did a lot of things with that. Well, long story short, I ended up having twin boys. They're both autistic and nonverbal. And ever since then, my life has changed drastically. Once I found out, I retired from football, and I said to myself that this is a little bit more important than running around on the football field.
What are you most looking forward to during this celebrity showcase? I know there's a bunch of other stars coming in playing against the Special Olympics athletes, which their own rights are stars themselves and in their own programs. So, what are you most looking forward to during this whole showcase?
It's gonna be fun. At the same time, I am a competitor, so I do want to win. I want to compete. My oldest son will be watching as well, so he'll be in the background trying to coach me up. He feels like he's a Rocket League specialist. I am a gamer myself, so it'll be I'm excited to see to match up my skills to these professionals' skills.
Esports has obviously just taken off in recent years. And I know it's obviously different as your injuries and the physicality of the NFL can attest to. But do you see any similarities between, professional football league compared to some of these esports leagues? Some comps you can make here.
Oh no, there's no question. It's people who don't understand might not say it's a sport, but people who are competitors like we are, they understand this is actually a sport. It might not be a physical sport where, hey, we're not, headbutting each other, right? I follow some of the esports people on Twitch or whatnot, and they're watching film. They're breaking down their game plan, right? They're scouting the other teams on how they play, right? It's a real deal thing.
You mentioned you have your two boys that are also autistic, nonverbal autistic, and then Special Olympics being so big and allowing all types of different sports. Why do you think it's so important that Special Olympics is moving on and allowing esports as a option for athletes coming forward? Do you think are your opinions on all that?
I think it's great. People are competing, so it doesn't matter if you're on the spectrum, or if you're have ADHD, or might be missing a limb or whatnot. Doesn't mean you can't compete. Everyone's human just like everyone else. You realize very quickly, like I've realized, and especially with my boys, there's no limit to what people can do. There really isn't. I've seen from my own eyes with my own kids, like from them saying they can't talk, right, and now they're trying to talk, right, or the way they balance on things that I can't balance on as a professional athlete's impressive. And then I hear stories on some golfers that are what we might call not normal, right, neurotypical maybe, shooting 68 on the golf course, and I'm like, man, I can hardly shoot a 90, right? It's impressive. So I mean, man, the sky really is the limit for anyone. All you gotta do is believe and compete, and anything can happen.
I want to ask you about the wild story in your playing career. It's actually based off the field. During minicamp, you missed a connecting flight and you were in Minneapolis. You're trying to get to Green Bay, didn't know how you're going to get there, and you used Twitter to get a ride. Can you walk us through this crazy experience? Did you actually also think that someone would actually pick you up when you posed that question on Twitter?
Yeah, so long story, I was coming back from a event. I was coming on, so I was like, all right, I'll be able to make it home in time, and then the next morning I'll be able to wake up to get to work. And at the time, I was a veteran, so I wanted to show a good example to younger guys. It was my second stint back in Green Bay. Everything's going good. I land in Minnesota, and the flight gets canceled to Green Bay, and it wanted to be to like next day midday. So I said, "I'm sorry, I got to find a way to get over there." All the rental cars were gone, somehow, some way. And I said, "Man, I got to find a way." Let me ask Twitter. Didn't think it was actually going to happen, but obviously a few people responded, and I don't know what my message was. It might have been along the lines like, "Hey, I'm stuck in Minneapolis, need help," maybe. But here comes Chad to come running around, and it's like, "Hey, we'll come get you." So then I believe I DM'd. I'm like, "Hey, you serious?" So yeah. I think it might have been Chad and Mike might have been the names, and they come along and they actually come pick me up. Initially, when I wrote them, I saw that a couple of my teammates were following them. I was like, so I felt like a little bit more safer. Like, all right, these aren't just random people coming to pick me up. Like other teammates had some type of interaction with him. So it made me feel a little bit safer. But no, it was a great ride. I slept half of the trip, kind of one eye open, just a little nervous. But once I got there, the two men were great. I showed them around, gave them a personal tour of the locker room. They got to see the trophies and some of their favorite players' lockers, and it was great.
Oh, that's incredible, man. That's just the power of people, right? The power of fandom, the power of helping someone out who you don't know personally. That's just a really cool story to me.
No, it was great. I mean, a lot of teammates are like, "Man, you're crazy for doing that. Like, you're stupid house." But I'm the type of guy like everyone's not bad. I mean, there's a lot of good people in this world. So I'm not going to classify everyone bad because there's a few bad apples, right? So man, it was great. I mean, if I could do it, I'll do it again. And not even that, I mean, they'll remember this for the rest of their lives, right? For me, it
Sure.
was just another way for me to get to work, but for them, it was a story of a lifetime. So it was great. It was good to give. I mean, I guess that was my way of giving back. But they enjoyed it.
So you mentioned you're a big gamer. What games are you into? Like, give us like three of your favorite games.
So Call of Duty's got to be number one for me. Call of Duty number one. I really started getting into this game called DayZ. It's like a survival mode game. Loving that. And the third one would probably either Minecraft or Rocket League. And I played that a lot with my oldest son, who's actually really good at it.
That's awesome. So I didn't notice Rocket League wasn't number one. Are you prepared? Have you been training? Have you been getting yourself ready for this? I mean, you're not hitting weight room, right? You're not hitting bench press and squats over here. How are you preparing for this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I do have once again. I have a coach, and it's my son, and he's harder on me than I am on him on this, right? I'm his coach in his baseball and football thing, and there's times where I'm like, "Hey, son, what are you doing?" But when he's trying to teach me this Rocket League thing, he's like, "Dad, you're a bot. Like, Dad, just do this. Like, come on, Dad, you let him score." And it's like, man, this is not as easy as you make it seem like. Uh, no, I mean I'm getting trained pretty well. But I think on the day of the game, I'll be as ready as I can be.
Like aside from the story where you got picked up from by some fans and got taken to work, do you have any other crazy stories you'd like to share with us from your time as a part of the Green Bay Packers?
Just all the great memories of winning, man. The comeback victories, the Hail Marys, the interceptions, the winning the NFC North, the pregame speeches from Rodgers and Woodson and Matthews, and it's those things that the outside people can never experience. It's it's special. It's really special. The greatest memory I will always have, it's up there in my life. Is just running in and out of that tunnel. The fans screaming. You can't hear yourself talk. Uh, it's something you can't really experience or really express the correct way. But it's a special moment.
Well, you had millions of folks watching you during your playing days, but let's be real now. You're going to have, what was it, 500,000 people have already watched this past weekend's showcase. You're going to have a ton more folks watching you. What are you most looking forward to in this celebrity showcase?
Well, you're making me nervous now. You say that. So no, I'm looking forward to, man, to competing. having fun, right? And just getting to know these athletes. You know, I watch the Olympics all the time online and whatnot. The last few years, I've been watching some of the Special Olympic stuff. You know, here in Austin, they come out here and they compete. You know, some of the stuff is volleyball, some of the stuff is like gym stuff. I hear there's a flag football thing coming around here that I haven't went to go watch yet. Um, but I'm just excited to go out there and compete against someone who is another athlete again, right? And not even that, it's an Olympian. I mean, not everyone can say that, right? That I participated in a Special Olympics event, and I was able to go out there and compete against a Olympian. I mean, win, lose or draw, I'm gonna give it my all, and I'm pretty sure he is too, or she is too. And I don't expect them to let me win, just like I'm not gonna expect them, you know. Hopefully they don't expect me to let them win. I mean, I'm gonna go out there and compete, and I'll keep the trash talking down because this isn't football, but I will be getting a little rowdy if I'm scoring a lot of goals out there.
Davon House, 8+ year NFL career, getting rowdy, not just on the football field, but in Rocket League. Again, Ben Gregory, I am Sterling Holmes, unified with gaming for inclusion. Davon, really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. It's a pleasure to be on here.